Welcome everyone to the Sports Jedi Network, and today in this video, I am talking about the fighting nerds, as they've been a hot topic in the MMA community for the past couple of weeks. Really, you can say the last year and a half, but especially these last couple of weeks, as the fighting nerds are a team that's burst on the scene. They got a lot of attention and got some hate. And I'm gonna answer in this video. I'm gonna talk about the fighting nerds overhyped. Did they get fraud check, or are people overhate? Are people getting them too much hate for no freaking reason or for dumb reasons? In this video, I'm gonna cover all that and more. So let me just get a sip of water and we'll go from here. Also, shout out to Do Wipes. You know, if you watch the channel, you know Do Wipes is one of our sponsors. So I do want to give them a shout out. Great product. You can get any convenience store, grocery store. It's great products since we all have to use the bathroom and we all don't want to mess down there. Sometimes there's no toilet paper in these bathrooms, and there may be no, it's uncomfortable. So Do Wipes helps with all that. Let me get that out of the way, and now let's talk about the fighting nerds. So, so the fighting nerds. Let me pull up the record real quick. They started 19-0, if I remember correctly. Yes, 19-0. Hopefully, you guys can see the screenshot on the screen. Yes, should be able to. As the fighting nerds started back in freaking April after UFC 314, after Gene Silva choked out Bryce Mitchell. These four guys. When we talk about the fighting nerds, usually it's these four guys. I know there's other fighters and things like that, but these are like the main four guys of the UFC because. And the reason why I think these guys got hyped because you had someone in 145, 155, 170, and 185, and like those four weight classes all making noise. You know, there's other fighters like Michaela Sachik's 2-0 since joining the Fighting Nerds this year. Karine Silva is a Fighting Nerd female who's ranked number 9 in the flyweight division, women's flyweight division, who's come off a victory back in August, I believe, on UFC 319, the undercards. Who is 8-1 in her last 9 fights. So there's other fighters in the Fighting Nerds. Suppose the guy's gonna fight a contender series this upcoming Tuesday. So they got a lot. So they do have a lot of wait, this Tuesday or next Tuesday? It's soon. I forget. So basically, there's a lot of prospects and good fighters coming out of the Fighting Nerds, but these are the main four guys. And after UFC 314, they were 19-0. These four guys. Since then, they've all taken a loss. Protez losing to Ian Gary, and the weekend after UFC 314 or 2 weeks after in Kansas City. Then you had Mauricio Rufy and Cabral losing in France and Paris the next week. Last weekend, I should say. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before they lost in Paris. And then this past weekend, John Silva lost to Diego Lopez. And some people have been happy they lost. Some people are saying they got fraud check and things like that. And for me, that I don't get it. Like, first of all, that's not fraud check. Losing to top contenders is not being fraud check. That's a term people overuse and yet don't know the term of being a fraud check. Fraud check is basically getting beaten up by somebody you probably should have beaten, or getting dominated by somebody you should not get dominated against. It doesn't make sense to say Carlos Protez got fraud checked by Ian Gary. As much as I don't like him, I can't stand Ian Gary. He is a top contender in the welterweight division. Cabral lost to Mavov, who's about to fight for the middleweight title in the middleweight title eliminator fight. And then John Silva just lost to Diego Lopez, who just fought for the featherweight title back in April. Same card as John Silva beat Bryce Mitchell, who's ranked number 2, Diego Lopez, that is, in the freaking featherweight division. Doesn't even make sense. Fraud check. Like, people don't even know what the heck fraud check is. It's just people just use it and they sound stupid saying it. And that shit's annoying. That should get called out. Like, I'm gonna talk a little bit about each guy. For example, Protez against Ian Gary. Yes, Protez did not look good the first 3 minute the first 3 rounds of that fight didn't look great, but round 4 he started doing a little better. Round 5 he did fumble the finish, and that was annoying because I hate Ian Gary. It'd been great for him to have a comeback victory, and he fumbled that finish, hurt Ian Gary badly, but couldn't. But then, like I said, fumbled the finish to where if he would done to where if he had better fight IQ, he would not finish Ian Gary. Had a great comeback victory and would probably he'd probably definitely be top 5 right now, Protez. But he fumbled and he learned. He fought again in August, 4 months after the Ian Gary fight. Got a knockout over Jeff Neal, spin elbow knockout 1 second ago, which was impressive as fuck. And Jeff Neal's a guy who's been in the welterweight, ranked in the welterweight division for a while, a respected welterweight. So, and that was a fight we were all looking forward to because we all thought, man, this could be an exciting fight. And it's two good strikers, and Protez was better that night, and Protez knocked him the fuck out, which was very beautiful to watch, that knockout. So, yeah, Protez there. Then you have Mauricio Rufi, who to me is the only guy he got fraud check was him. I know Benoit is ranked, but at the same time, Benoit was a guy who got fraud check, that who people say got fraud checked. And so it's like you getting fraud checked by a guy who got fraud checked himself. That kind of makes you a fraud. And Rufi was the only guy who had a terrible performance in his loss. It was bad. That was a horrible performance by Mauricio Rufi. Like, that was awful. Benoit Santini, who striking defense is not the best. Leaves chin up in the air. Striking's all right. It's offensive striking. And yet Rufi couldn't capitalize on him. Outside like early round 2, where he had some moments against Benoit, and drew a flying knee that if Benoit was stepped in, was like a couple inches closer or stepped in, he probably would have been knocked out by Mauricio Rufi, but it wasn't the case. Rufi looked terrible. He looked like a fish out of water in the grappling. Previous fights he had shown decent grappling defense, but this one he didn't, and he got submitted badly by Benoit. Like, Rufi got fraud checked. That's the only guy you can say got fraud checked. I mean, the top comment in the screenshot I mentions that. Let me pull it up so you guys can see for yourself. This is from Full Violence Instagram, by the way. Yeah, none of them besides Rufi lost to anyone egregious. Exactly. Like the Benoit one, like Benoit got fraud checked by Renato Moicano, considering how he got dominated last year in France by Moicano, Benoit, and beaten up badly, and the doctor had to stop it. Did all right around 2, but still. Then he won his fight against Kyle Problat back in May, but Benoit didn't look all that impressive. He just did enough to win. Like, he should have done better against Problat, a regional fighter from Canada. They brought in last minute because Alvarez pulled out. Joe Alvarez pulled out against Benoit, and then so yeah, Benoit, he hasn't exactly shown improvement since his back-to-back losses from last year, and Mauricio Rufi just got destroyed and dominated by him and looked embarrassing. Didn't really do much. Striking, couldn't do any striking. Grappling defense was not that great. He's the only one that got fraud check, in my opinion, is Mauricio Rufi. Everyone else, no, you can't say that. Let me go to Cal Barajo. Cal Barajo, first of all, lost a close fight to Imavov. Anyone that says that's 50-45, you're biased as fuck. Those French judges were biased as fuck. Terrible judging by the French judges in favor of the French guy, Imavov. And Imavov lost rounds 3 and 5. He won the first 2 rounds. In round 4, he looked good in the early part, especially on Imavov, considering his hand speed was a problem for Barajo. Barajo did get up to a slow start, but then rounds 3 and 5, he did well. He landed some good shots on Imavov, and actually was doing well, landing some good punches in Imavov and keeping up the pace. But then Imavov, so every time Barajo kept going, Imavov would do a foul, an eye poke. And by the way, Imavov should have had a point deducted, considering he eye poked him like 3 times. And by the way, if you're watching the Imavov fight, watch his last 6 fights. It's been a lot. There's been a lot of fouls he's committed. All 6 fights he's had a foul. He's committed a foul. So it's a little dirty fighter. Like, at some point, you kind of have to. These refs need to go out there and punish Imavov by taking a point to send a message to him and other fighters. This is unacceptable. Especially you have a guy, if you watch his fights, who keeps doing that. That's something that needs to get talked about. But Barajo lost a title eliminator fight to Imavov where he won rounds 3 and 5 and actually did it well. And anytime he got momentum, Imavov would commit a foul, which I think those eye pokes definitely affected Barajo at times, because if it weren't for those eye pokes, he probably would have taken more of a risk, and he probably could have beaten Imavov potentially. But but those eye pokes definitely didn't help at all in those fouls. And it still was competitive. It was 3-2. Like, seriously, watch rounds 3 and 5 and tell me Brahal didn't win those rounds. He clearly won those rounds. It was a very close fight against Imavov. And Imavov is good, by the way. This is a guy who was on a 3-4 fight win streak prior to this fight. And he was now going to fight Hamza Chimaev for the middleweight title. This was a title eliminator fight, and Imavov won. Like, Imavov deserved to win, but at the same time, you have to acknowledge the fouls and the fact that it was a close fight. And the judges' scorecards were completely bullshit. If you actually watch the fight, you can only see Brahal winning rounds 3 and 5. And now Brahal got on a faster start. He probably would have won, but still, he probably could have won, but still, it was close. He didn't get dominated by Imavov. He really didn't. It was a competitive fight. Yeah, that's what that was. And so you have that, and then you got excuse me, sorry. Then you have John Silva this past weekend, who lost to Diego Lopez, a guy who fought for the featherweight title back in April, a guy who's a top featherweight who had a great first round, dominated John Silva. John Silva was gave him credit for surviving that because it looked like the fight was going to get stopped, but Silva was able to survive because he got taken out by Diego Lopez, and Lopez ground and pound him. And Lopez is a very good grappler. I mean, he's the grappling coach at his gym. And when he uses grappling, he can use it effectively, Diego Lopez. So he was able to do that and have great ground and pound. But then John Silva in round 2 was winning round 2. Like, literally, he was beating up Lopez. He was catching Lopez. He called him several times and rocked him at one point. And him some shots that stunned him a couple of times, actually. Like, Lopez was getting hit a lot, because the one thing about Diego Lopez is he's very hittable, and John Silva hit him with some great shots and was winning that round before he got caught with that spinning elbow. Like, if had John Silva not lunged forward at times and left himself open in that fight, he probably would have beaten Diego Lopez, just because Lopez was getting beat up badly in the striking, and he got hit with several front kicks to his face by John Silva in rounds 1 and 2. Like, in the striking department, Silva was actually doing a lot better than Diego Lopez. It was Lopez won round 1 because of grappling, because Silva went for a spinning attack. Lopez timed the takedown perfectly and was able to ground and pound him. And Lopez did take down Silva round 2, but remember, Silva got up like immediately. So Silva was starting to be able to get up from Lopez and not get beaten up as much. So the momentum was going Silva's way if you actually watch that fight again. But Lopez then spinning elbow and was able to ground and pound him. Great stoppage. It was a good stoppage by the ref. And Diego Lopez was a great fighter too. I mean, this guy's got a great chin, one of the best chins in MMA, because he took some shots from Silva, but Lopez just kept moving forward. And he took some big shots from Volk. I mean, Volkanovski rocked in. He didn't get knocked down at all by Volkanovski. So Lopez is one of the best chins in all MMA. He's one of the best fighters in the featherweight division. Diego Lopez is a great fighter. There's no shame losing to Diego freaking Lopez. Like, come on, guys. It's Diego Lopez. And Silva was winning round 2 before he got dropped. It's like, how's that a fraud check? Like I don't understand some of these fans. Like, I don't get it. Like some of these fans, like, I don't get the hate that fighting nerds have. Like, why do people hate them? Like, I don't understand it. It's like they're exciting fighters. They get you hyped for fights. When you fight, you pay attention. You want to see them fight. They get you hype. They put on entertaining fights. Like, what? Why hate these guys? Why? What's the hatred for? What? Like, I don't understand these fans. Some of these fans, it just comes across stupid. You got people making videos about the downfall and celebrating it, like Kenny Okoye, just stupid ass videos, retarded videos, and then you have other people just commenting saying they got fighting nerds got humble. Oh yes, they deserve it. This and that. They got fraud check. Once again, not knowing what a fraud check is. How you fraud check by top contenders in fights where you actually have success. Like, how's that a fraud checking? Especially Bravo and Silva. Like, that doesn't make no sense. Like, how the fuck are those losses fraud checking? Rufy's the only one who got fraud checked. That's legit. But other 3 did not get fraud checked. Plus, gave Carlos Prates credit. He bounced back from that loss against Ian Gary by getting that highlight reel knockout against Jeff Neal, which is crazy that 2 of these guys have potential knockout of the year contenders with Process, the spin elbow, UFC 319, then UFC 313, Mauricio Rufio that wheel kick against Bobby Green. So it's crazy. Yeah, so these guys are super exciting, yet people want to shit on them, and I don't get it. Like, why? Why do people want like? We need guys like this who hype up their fights, who gets excited, bring entertaining fights, who where they fight you care. We need, especially rising contenders. We need this. This is good for us UFC fans. And yeah, why are we complaining? It makes no fucking sense. It's stupid. And these guys, I think, will bounce back. I think these guys, just because, and by the way, just because you lose a fight does not mean, oh, you're not going to come back. The gym can make adjustments and bounce back. We've seen guys from gym before lose fights and then come back and win. These guys can easily go out there and make adjustments and win their next fight and then be contenders. Like, I could easily see Silva, Process, and Bravo fighting for championships. Rufy, I'm a little questionable. I'm still iffy about. I gotta see more from Rufy. I'm be honest with you. But the other three, definitely can see these guys fighting for the belt. Like I said, they just gotta make a little more adjustments and they'll win. And by the way, I think Carlos Prates will beat Leon Edwards in November. I do believe that. I don't think Leon Edwards is the same Leon Edwards from a couple years ago, and Leon's Edwards style is like very just do enough to win. I think going against someone who has a touch of depth and Prates, who's just as good a striker as Leon, that could be a problem, especially since Leon doesn't look the same. I got Prates winning that fight. It's like some of these MMA fans, some of them just what I call like prisoners of the moment. It's like they see something happen and they think, oh, it's gonna be like that for forever. Like I just some of these fans have the prisoner moment thing. It's kind of like how some fans are saying, oh, there's only one American champion. Oh, America is falling off. Oh, America. They make it seem like American fighters can't be champs again or can't do well. There's still American fighters doing well, and give it time, we'll probably see more American fighters win championships. I mean, let's not forget 9 years ago there was only like one Brazilian champion, and Brazilian fighters were losing big time fights in late 2015, 2016, and people were saying, "Oh, is this Brazil's dominance? Are they falling off? Are they going to be the same? This and that." I remember that people talking about that. And look at now, since then, there's been multiple Brazilian champions, multiple Brazilian contenders, and we established Brazilians are still doing well in UFC in mixed martial arts, like they've always been. It's the same thing with American fighters. Sometimes some of these MMA fans are like prisoner moments and need to take a step back and not have that mentality. And also, just because somebody loses doesn't mean they're a bum either. Like, it's this stupid ass boxing mentality that boxing fans have. That boxing has, where you lose a fight, oh, bum, scrub. It just, no, it's not become boxing. That's one of the stupid things about boxing. And let's not become boxing that way. Please, let's not, because that'll ruin the sport. We like MMA because guys can fight and lose and still be considered great, and because they're fighting guys in the same level. You see it more often in MMA than boxing, where guys are actually fighting other opponents who are similar levels to them. And that's one of the things we like about MMA versus boxing. And let's keep it that way. Let's not go out there and say these guys are bums just because they lose one fight or they're done, this and that, it'll never be great just because they lose one fight. Let's not do that. That's what dumbass boxing does. And we don't want to be dumbass boxing. We don't. It's the reason why MMA is taking over boxing. And most of the reasons, too. It's a better sport than boxing. Just saying. Fucking hate. Anyway, that's another story for another day. I know. It's like some of these fans turn to boxing. It's just so stupid. I hate when fans do that. And plus, it seems like some of these fans, they act like contrarians, where they see people liking fighters doing good, and then the next thing you know, they have to see them lose to feel the ego say, "See, I called it." It's crazy. Some of these MMA fans are like that, and that shit needs to stop and be called out. It's just so annoying. It just makes no sense. But yeah, the fighting nerds, to me, not frauds. To me, they get too much hate. The only guy I can understand people not liking is John Silva because of how he inserted himself in the Bryce Mitchell situation when he made those comments in his podcast. Even though they were pretty retarded by Bryce Mitchell, just to be honest. But still, the way he inserted himself there and being pro-Israel, I can understand not liking John Silva for that. Especially, I mean, that I get not liking Silva for that, but everyone else I just don't get. Like, they act like these are bad people and they're not. It's just it's just so stupid. Some of these fans hating the fighting nerds for no reason and acting like their success was bad for MMA and just celebrating their downfall. When it even makes sense when they're exciting fighters who bring on good fights to get hype. We need this MMA fans. I just don't get it. It's just dumb to me. Anyway, that's the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think the fighting nerds get too much hate? And do you think do you think they're gonna bounce back? Because I think they're gonna bounce back. They will bounce back. And like I said, don't be surprised if Prates, Brajo, and Silva fight for championships within the next 5 years. Rufy, I'm not sure. And by the way, there's other fighters coming up. There may be some other fighting nerds coming up who we don't know, who 5 years from now could be champions. So watch out for that. Anyway, thank you guys for watching and listening. Have a good day, good night, and stay safe. And God bless. Peace. And yeah, next week we'll be doing the Reyes and Ulberg preview video. Also, I'm still doing more baseball videos too. Probably by the end of the year, I'll do my discussion about the AL MVP and all that. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching. See you later. Bye.
Yeah.